podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Well, I really enjoyed podcasting with you, Ed, but that joyous.
It was good.
I mean,
those.
we are.
Yeah. How many games?
We're clearly the problem, right? This is clearly what's happening.
Quite
here.
a few people on the socials pointed this out. They warned us not to come back.
Well, I want to say, United, since we started podcasting, have won one league title. Now, before we started podcasting, they won a lot more than that. But they've won one league title and probably 2 or maybe even 3 League Cups. An FA Cup, hadn't won one of those for ages. A Europa League, had never won one of those before, ever. No Champions Leagues, though. One losing final. And now, a lot of losing semi-finals. Yet another heartbreaker for Ole's semi-final Reds.
It really is. And we can get to the detail, but it's a big blow, isn't it? Because the progress that Ole was making over the last 2 years, and particularly in the last few weeks, it's not completely predicated on getting a trophy, but it's a substantial sort of marker for progress, isn't it? I mean, after all, that's what fans and players want. It's not what the owners want. They want cash, but trophies do highlight the sponsors and allow you to rake in even more cash. And so it's important. And it's not going to come in the League Cup. And Manchester City are probably going to go and win a 4th on the trot or whatever it is, which is going to be, I'm not going to watch that one, by the way. Absolutely zero chance.
Whoever wins, we lose.
April the 25th, I will be indisposed, washing my hair, I don't know, doing something, but not watching that. But look, this is a big blow. It was important. Ole said it beforehand. He said, no excuses. And so there are no excuses. We had a strong team out. It's his sort of preferred formation right now. I mean, who knows next week? The Diamond. And it wasn't an awful performance. It just lacked a little bit. A couple at the back, both goals could have been defended, and just a little more cutting edge up front.
Yeah, I mean, was it a diamond or was it a 4-2-3-1 with Pogba on the left?
Yeah, I mean, and they were flexible like that at the weekend as well. So I guess Pogba was given complete license to get forward. And he's put in some good performances. I thought he was okay again tonight, actually. I mean, in a team that didn't have much possession, he did fine.
Just an awfully frustrating night. I mean, we were in it until they scored, and then we were in it loads. Basically, until they got their second. It felt like any second now something good could happen. But every time it was just one of those nights, I guess. I mean, I was just watching this and I was trying to concentrate. It's a bit difficult to concentrate while Western democracy is, collapsing around our ears or whatever. Definitely the sort of second most important news item happening in the world while this was going on. So there was a little bit of that. And it, it's the end of the day and first week back at work and all that. So it was quite difficult to concentrate on this game. And all the way through, I was thinking, what is there to say about, the clash of systems or interesting little tactical nuances? And I'm sure there's smarter people than me that understand football better that could come up with them. To me, it looked like their defence is way better than ours. And that's the main thing. Because I imagine if you're a City fan, you might have been a bit frustrated with some of the things that had nearly happened and not quite come off. And De Bruyne hit the post, the inside of the post. And, looked like it might be one of those nights for them. But in the end, their defenders didn't make any mistakes, and all the interplay between Martial, Rashford, Bruno, Pogba, Bruno kind of having one of those nights, I think, a little bit, maybe trying a little bit too hard because of the semi-final and the opposition, and maybe the feeling that we weren't the underdogs and he would need to do more, like I'd mentioned at the weekend. But that first goal, I thought was quite symptomatic. I can't help thinking Ruben Diaz would have swept his leg out and knocked that one to the side rather than watched it go past him so John Stones could midriff one in.
It's, a few interesting points there. I mean, firstly on the goal, for sure, right? That's gone through 7 United players. Rashford and another one on the front post, Martial, I think. They were both on the front post. Neither of them sort of threw themselves at it. And then any of the central defenders. None of them tracked the runner. And in the end, Stones was, it looked like he came off his dick, didn't it? It went straight in.
I mean,
pulled the Ben Stokes.
When I said midriff, I was being euphemistic, clearly.
Yeah, well, is he hung like Falcao? Maybe it was his midriff. Anyway, sorry, I've lowered the tone again.
Quite all right.
Again, 480 podcasts, and I managed to pull it off now and again. Lowering the tone, that is. Lowering the tone.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Anyway, that was definitely true. And then on Bruno Fernandes, yes, sure. It's one of those nights where he's trying stuff and it's not coming off. He would play like that against the Parkside, and of course it would come off against the Parkside because Parkside wouldn't mark space. And you're absolutely right that Manchester City have upgraded their defence significantly with Ruben Diaz. He's a really good player. And Stones, I don't know whether it's GS's introduction that has helped him come along, or he's had an epiphany, or whatever it is. But he's obviously playing well again, had the raw talent, and looked like he was going to blow his opportunity. And now looks like he's back in Pep's favour, and it's really important. So they defend well, and they're obviously defending against a very potent attacking side in United, and United. 11 shots, mostly from open play in this game. So you created something, not brilliant opportunities, because City defended well in, deep or pressing, and then were able to counter when they needed to. And of course, City's style is to keep the ball. So for the most of the time, they didn't need to counter because they had all the ball. And so this just felt like a very City performance, and United just couldn't impose their will on City, and then there were the defensive lapses.
Yeah. Do you think the second goal... the second goal to me, Henderson took a step the wrong way and then looked really flat-footed, but I guess that can happen.
I don't think he saw it until too late and then just didn't react. The defensive lapse is really the weak header out into a too central area. It's we've made worse mistakes in defence this season, for sure, than Wan-Bissaka's header, but it wasn't a great one.
So I've never really understood central defending. I've always found it I just don't know much about it, really. Don't know never played football to any level, so don't really know. That first goal, watching it just looked like that's awful from Maguire. I guess you're thinking, well, I don't want to get a dodgy touch on this one because it's so dangerous. You could easily skew off you and go in for an own goal. But it did look to me like he didn't know Stones was there. He didn't know who was behind him. And he was leaving a ball that was... He was sort of very vociferously appealing for offside when Stones was miles and miles and miles onside. It didn't look good to my very untrained eye, is what I'm saying. What did you think it was awful or just unfortunate?
No, I think it's just typical of Maguire,
right.
Honestly. Yeah. So he's a step or two below the best central defenders in the world, and unfortunately, the powers that be at United paid the best central defender in the world price for him. On the Talk of the Devils podcast, is that right? I keep forgetting his name. The Athletics official with our friend there, Carl.
I was just going to boo when you said the Athletic, but I'm not booing Carl. So.
Boo, yay!
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They brought up the story about Mourinho basically telling United to only pay 50 million for Maguire when Mourinho wanted him. Again, that's done the rounds before, right? But and it just kind of brought that to mind again. He's in this market, he's a £50 million player, if that.
Yeah.
So his ceiling, I think we've seen it, and he'll never go beyond it. And anything that requires kind of speed of thought or speed of turn, it's not his strongest point. Now, he got into some good positions defensively, made some good tackles. Not everything. It's not binary. I'm not saying everything he does turns to. It's just, you wanted a transformational defender, and he was an incremental upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've got a transformational defender in our side, and he wasn't playing today. And you could really see he wasn't playing today. There was one moment where I had your voice ringing in my head when City put a through ball down the left channel, and Lindelof and Maguire were trying to get back. And it was just like the words "no recovery pace" kind of emerged out of the green of Old Trafford and kind of anti-alias lettering in my mind. Just like it was very clear evidence that there was no recovery
I actually
pace.
think Maguire looks a bit better with Bailly, right? Because you've got someone there who can recover from those kind of. It's not just the mistake; it's the ball in transition, right, or the quick switch of play, or all these sort of situations where Maguire isn't tip top. Bailly can sort of make up for that, and now, I guess after 4 games on the trot, Ollie is protecting him. Let's just say he is.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so.
I think so.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Watford next, and then it's Burnley after that, I think, if I remember correctly. And we'll see who's in the side for that Burnley game, because that will kind of tell you where Ollie's head is at.
Yeah, I mean, the example that really jumps out about Maguire and Bailly, the one against Wolves where the ball comes out to Traore, like the ball's been played to Traore on the left, and Bailly's absolutely pegged it across to cut out the pass. And it's that kind of thing that's missing as much as the incredible kind of last ditch defending that he brings. He's obviously, I should not get carried away. Eric Bailly's obviously not flawless and clearly has, let's face it, a mistake in him, but he's also got real magic in him in a way that I don't think either Maguire or Lindelof have. Further forward, I mean, loads and loads of criticism. Martial has become like, he's the new Pogba in terms of polarisation. To me, this is like a really good player having a tricky season. And also, in a game like this, it felt like the system wasn't really supporting him too well. A lot of ball, and he doesn't help himself actually, because he often will wait so the ball is passed to him so he can start the run with the ball at his feet, because he obviously feels confident taking the ball past defenders with the ball at his feet from just outside the box. But sometimes you just want him to just run in the channel, Tony, like just stretch them a little bit. And it was quite static a number of times, as it often is. And yeah, I'll end there. I was going to say something about Rashford as well, but
no, I mean, like, one of the challenges United have in creating the right kind of balance of attack is that Martial and Rashford are quite similar in how they play as a forward, centre forward, or they've kind of split wide at times tonight, and it's they want the ball in front of them all of the time. Now, United do have Cavani, who offers something slightly different. I'm not sure when he's playing with his back to goal, he actually wants to run in the channels. He's got great movement around the box, but I actually don't think he does that kind of classic number 9 occupying 3 central defenders or whatever it is either. Right, so we'll have to think about that. But there's loads of talent there. Martial's not having a great season, let's be honest. I mean, it looked like there was an uptick in form recently. He scored a few goals, needed those goals as well, got a couple of assists as well. But we need him, as we said on the last pod, we need him to be really good this second half of the season. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
because worth saying that we recorded the last podcast, we were, joking about United's place in the league table and it's on and all that. And then Liverpool went and lost to Southampton and it all got drastically real for a second. And I looked up some nerds and what the nerds were saying, and the nerds are all extremely convinced that Manchester City are going to win the league this season. And because that also obviously the last time I'd looked at the 5-3-8 prediction model was before City had beaten Chelsea and Liverpool had lost, and they were predicting City by a substantial margin. And now it's just, they are very, very confident of a City win, basically like 70% chance of City winning or something like that. I have no idea whether there's any accuracy in that model whatsoever. I'd love to look at what it's said in the past and what's come to pass.
Yeah, I don't know the innards of that model either. I mean, I think it's partly based on the SPI rankings, which is a sort of ranking of quality of team based on a certain amount of past results as well. And they have the City side as being somewhat better than Liverpool, which is where people might pull this up and say, not sure about that, but I don't know enough about the model to really critique it properly.
Yeah.
Reds versus Blues all over 538 at the moment, though, of course.
Yes. The idea that United could potentially win the league this season is amazing to be talking about on the 6th of January. And I think this game sort of shows why, it's still a relatively outside chance, because one of the things that we're going to consistently need is for things to come off. And I know all teams need that, but there are teams that need the fine margins to go less right than other teams. And we're going to need the fine margins to go very right indeed, and including almost especially stuff around injuries. You mentioned Cavani, and I couldn't help wondering how good it would have been to have Cavani to come off the bench in this game. And Diego Godin is apparently extremely keen for that to be able to happen. He, I believe, was the first player, although it was also tweeted by Lucas Torreira and co-signed by Luis Suarez, so you're on the right side of history there. The Uruguayan Footballers Association rapidly rising to the defence of Cavani's good name in a statement that, listen, there's a lot of talk about cultural imperialism here, and I think it's nothing to do with cultural imperialism and everything to do with, if you live in a country and play in a competition, you have to operate by the rules of that competition, not the rules of the culture you come from. And the thing that I think was most misguided about this is they were saying Cavani's good name should be restored. I think it's a massive misread of this whole situation to think in any way that Cavani's good name has been damaged, essentially.
Well, United have defended Cavani on multiple occasions, the manager and the club coming out with statements, and I think it's okay. Their defence was his intent was harmless. And we had a long conversation. I think there's another conversation to be had about this, which is happening amongst some activists and academics anyway, which is, what is the history of the use of these terms, and is it acceptable culturally? And let's step into the shoes of the people who are being infantilized, right? And I don't want to keep going on about this because people find this argument hard to accept. But I'm telling you, it's not me, Ed, saying bad guy Cavani, me and my pompous Englishness saying I know all about racism. It's local people saying, we don't like this either, right? But Cavani's error here, or crime, was just fell foul of, Rule 5.2e of the FA Code of Conduct on social media. You cannot post with any terms that invoke someone's race, and he clearly did that. So he didn't even. By the way, we didn't say on the last pod, he didn't contest the charge. Right? He played guilty, and the club supported that statement because they know that the juxtaposition of supporting anti-racism statements across the game and emblazoned all over Old Trafford doesn't sit well with contesting that charge, right? So
absolutely,
and that's why the Uruguayan FA and Players Association got it so wrong, right? They've misread it. I personally haven't read the judgment, but I'm 100% sure that's what the judgment will say.
Yeah, I didn't read the judgment, but I read some coverage of the judgment, which was like, no, there is no suggestion here that there was negative intent or anything like that. It's quite clear about that, but it's a breach of the rules, and this is the punishment that warrants, and all exactly what you would expect it to say. And I think United have done, I think United have done the right thing because they said they kind of defended the players' intent and said they wouldn't contest the charge. They accepted the charge, which is like, So yeah, I mean, and we had a comment saying that it was a woke take to suggest that this was correct, and it is a woke take to talk about the use of the word and the its place in Latin American culture, and that's not a take that you and I are having. That's a take that exists, that we're saying, hey, this is out there. What we're saying here right now is you can't put that word on social media if you play in English football competition. You're going to get banned and fined because those are the rules of the competition you're operating in.
We all sign up to the rules. Rather like Kieran Trippier signed up to the rules before telling his mates to lump on.
He didn't know. Like, all he told his mates he was moving to a different club. Honestly.
Oh no. Have you not seen the transcript?
Yeah, it's his mate saying, should I lump on?
Then he said, lump on if you want to, mate.
Yeah,
lump on.
Yeah, I honestly can't believe how much I've seen numerous people talk about this, and like the only people that could possibly stand to get hurt in this are bookmakers, and like, good. That's
no, I know. I mean, look, I think the analogy has been brought with insider trading on this one a few times, and it's not quite the same. But in insider trading, 100%, if you told someone some information that was material to one party winning and one party losing in a financial transaction, I mean, you would be doing time, not serving a 10-week ban for football. So that's why the FA have the rules, and I think they're probably enforcing them in the right way. But it does feel harsh on Kieran Trippier because it wasn't him doing the betting, but everyone will be clearer for it now. If you're asked, are you going to XYZ club? You say, absolutely nothing.
Well, it's like when Matic sent the picture of him in the United shirt to his 40 mates from back home WhatsApp group, and then it got out onto social media, only with gambling thrown in. Hey, shall we? I don't really want to talk about this City game anymore, but I guess we should do a roundup of like what it means that we lost another semi-final and where we are in relation to City. And I just feel like we're kind of we know where we are. On another day, that game goes real differently. A few details change. To me, it wasn't like a thoroughly dispiriting performance or anything. It had dispiriting moments, but...
And football is in the details, but the better the players you have, the less those details seem to matter, right?
Yeah, and I do think it's fair, because I've talked to a lot, and we have players in this side I really like. I really like Rashford, I really like Martial, I really like Pogba, I really like Bruno. City's best players are better than our best players, and their worst players are definitely better than our worst players. So, and their manager is better than our manager. So, it's all a bit of a shame. But we're much closer to them than we have been. A one-off game in a semi-final doesn't tell you that either way, but you can see it all across the pitch, and you can definitely see it from the league table.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll move on from that. We'll just forget about the EFL Cup. Doesn't count. Dead to us. It's all about the Europa when it comes to cup competitions.
Hey, there's only one trophy we want to win this season. That's not 21 in 21, baby.
Yeah. We haven't won the Europa League 21 times. What are you talking about?
Should we take a break and then talk about the other trophy that we might win this season, although there's a long way to go in that one?
Let's do it.
If you want more from the show in between shows, check us out on the socials. We are NQAT Pod on Instagram, Ed's at NQAT Pod on Twitter, and we are under our real names on Facebook at No Question About That.
Alrighty. Watford.
Elton John, Luther Blissett, John Barnes. Your boys are going to take a hell of a beating. Wait, did Luther Blissett play for Watford?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay, good. Who else has played for Watford? Odion Ighalo, Troy Deeney. Your boys.
Do you think Odion's going to get a game at the weekend?
Yeah, he might do. The Odion Ighalo derby, after all.
Maybe. I mean, he's off at the end of the month. So, a farewell.
It's the Tom Cleverley derby.
Earning
the Danny Welbeck
£100,000
derby.
a week. It's getting a lot of value for that £100,000 at the moment.
honestly, that his interview on the official United podcast is the most heartwarming thing you'll ever hear in your whole life. He is a bigger United fan than anyone else that's ever played for the club, and I'm including the people that grew up standing on the Stretford end in that. Like, he likes Man United more than either of us. He's a big fan.
All right, can you name how many managers Watford have had since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was appointed at Manchester United?
Oh wow! Well, they had Gracia, Sanchez Flores, then they sacked Sanchez Flores again and replaced him with Nigel Pearson. Is that true?
Yeah, they had a caretaker, Hayden Mullins, in between.
Okay. Okay, all right, that makes me feel very old that somehow Hayden Mullins is a caretaker manager now, not someone who turns up on Football Manager searches. Okay, so Gracia, Quique Sanchez Flores, Mullins, Pearson. Then they sacked Pearson right at the end of it. Craig Shakespeare took over in traditional fashion.
Well, yeah, Hayden Mullins and Craig Shakespeare, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then who was next?
Vladimir Ivic.
Right.
From
and he's
August
gone too now.
to December. And then Cisco Munoz was appointed in December. And it has on Wikipedia TBD against his departure date. Around about July, I'd say.
Yeah, if that.
If that. He'd be doing well if he gets... Yeah, I mean, it's mad. It's mad. So since the Pozzo... When did the Pozzis take over? They took over and appointed Gianfranco Sola, didn't they? Is that right? So we've had...
I have no idea, but it sounds plausible.
We've had... So since July 2012, Zola, Sanino, Garcia Joinent, Billy McKinley, Slavisa Djukanovic, Quique Sanchez Flores, Walter Materazzi, Marcus Silva, Javi Garcia, Quique Sanchez Flores, and so on. So it's absolutely incredible how many managers they've had. They've had, nearly 15 in the last 10 years. And it's the model of the Pozzo family, isn't it? They give them a good 6 months if they're lucky.
Yeah, and you know, it worked for a while. It kept them in the Prem for a while. But they went down last season, and you know, I guess we know a reasonable amount about them from their time in. I mean, it looked sort of like they'd signed quite well last summer. Brought in Will Hughes at some point. They look to have kind of shored things up. They've got a bunch of ex-Reds. Tom Cleverley's still there, I think.
He is. And Ben Foster.
Craig Cathcart, of course, a United youth product. Did he ever play for the first team? He must have played in the League Cup or whatever. I feel like
I don't remember him playing, but yeah, he might have done. Yeah.
Is James Garner that must be there on loan?
He's on
right?
there. He's there on loan. Yeah, presumably can't play at the weekend.
Right.
Ismaila Sarr is still there. You know, they bought him for a lot of money, and they're trying to sell him for a lot of money, which is why his move to Liverpool fell through. Apparently. And
quite a sort of surprise in a way that Etienne Capoue is still there. Etienne Capoue, who, you know, was linked with some big clubs, including United at various times.
Yeah, no, I think part of this is the goal of the Pozzo family to get straight back up. I mean, there's no guarantee of that. Of course, you know, many Premier League clubs that go down continue into free fall, and it's really difficult for them. They're currently 6th in the Championship, and above top are Norwich, Bournemouth are 3rd. So there's a few teams there that, you know, familiar names from the Premier League in recent years, and maybe they'll get up. But, you know, they've lost 5 games already this season in the league, and as is the nature of the Championship, everyone beats everyone else because it's pretty close typically at the top there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the key question is, because United play Watford, then Burnley in midweek, and then Liverpool. So this game is going to be like Dan James is going to play. Donny van der Beek might be in the starting lineup. That's how far we're going down Solskjaer's pecking order here. So I guess we we won't see Igalo from the start. We'll see Greenwood, I'm sure. Greenwood will start this game.
Yeah, and he needs some minutes, Greenwood.
Yeah.
So is this the third of 3 that Cavani will be suspended for? Was he suspended? He was suspended tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and the previous game against whoever.
Third of 3.
Villa.
Okay, so I guess we won't. Could see a Gallo from the start. It depends on what system he goes with, whether he goes for 3 up front or not. It'd be absolutely shocking if Bruno Fernandes plays, but he likes to play him in everything. And Harry Maguire as well. Perhaps give the lad a rest, Give the lad a rest, and maybe we'll see Axel Tuanzebe in central defence. Would be nice. I wonder can Teden Mengi play? Is he training with the first team or not? Because they're in separate bubbles.
No idea.
Yeah.
Oh, because of COVID rules.
COVID bubbles, yeah.
Right.
So, he'd have to be switched into the other bubble. I don't actually know whether he can play or not. Maybe we'll see Alex Telles. Is he fit?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he wasn't, anyway. I've not been paying that close attention, so I might just have missed it.
Yeah, no, he was just dragged off at half-time the other week.
Brandon Williams was definitely training, so I wonder whether we'll see the lesser spotted Brandon Williams.
Yeah, and he needs games. If he's not going to play in this kind of game, he definitely needs to go out on loan, because what's the point? He's not gaining anything or learning or making the progress he needs to make, because we know he's raw talent. If he's not going to play a game like this, then he needs to be shipped out on loan.
So, Henderson, Williams, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, and Maguire will play, because he wants to be the player with the most minutes in football in 2021 as well. So, Maguire, Telles, you got back 5 there. Midfield, Van der Beek. How else do you rotate? I guess McTominay plays because he came off at the end of that game. Who else is there? Have I missed someone?
He came off in the 75th minute.
Yeah.
2 substitutes. I meant to mention 2 substitutes from Ollie tonight. 75th minute and 88th minute. Come on. You're going to change the game. Anyway.
It was a bit tricky, wasn't it? Because there wasn't a really obvious change for him to make, and it didn't feel like there was an obvious tactical shift either. Although we do know that he can be a bit.
You can make 5 subs, and so you make basically 1. Anyway, so yes, McTominay may play. Matic may play because he hasn't.
Matic. There you go.
Yeah. Lingard is fit, so he may get a game. I don't know. I don't know how far down the pool of talent, in inverted commas, he wants to go. But he may do. So.
This is the kind of team I'd be putting out. It didn't really matter if we get knocked out of this. I know you were saying, once you're in a semi-final, you got to take the cup competition seriously. But, the FA Cup's got to be a long way down the pecking order of importance right now, given the fixture congestion, and given that a win against Burnley and a win against Liverpool, and we're 6 points clear of them. That's...
Steady on. You're going to jinx it talking like this.
No, you see, you said this, but there's nothing to jinx. So it's not like we're going to win the league if I don't jinx it. We're not, I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm just saying these are the possible outcomes.
Marcus Rojo fit? He's alive.
Right.
He's still at United, I think. What are the eligibility rules? I'm asking a lot of questions here because I don't know the answers, because neither him nor Phil Jones nor Sergio Romero were in the Premier League squad. So
it's been too long since I played Football Manager, so I don't know how the FA Cup overlaps. Well, there you go. That's your in-depth preview. Good luck. See you soon, everyone.
Little man Juan Mata.
There you go. He'll play. He's
play.
Definitely going to play. Lump on.
10-match ban.
Yep.
I'm bringing Carl for the next 10 games.
He's too busy for us. All right, I think that'll do. I predict that we're going to win 1-0.
It should be an easy win. It's at Old Trafford, isn't it? Massive crowd behind us.
Oh, good. It's at Old Trafford, the place we never win.
I actually don't know where it is. I've sort of... I forget. I don't even look at where it is now, the game.
Yeah,
because what's the point?
Doesn't really make much difference,
Doesn't make any difference. So, I'm going to comfortable 3-0 win. I think actually Watford will make changes because the Championship is hard.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree. I'm upgrading it to 2-0.
They played 22 games in the Championship.
That's a lot. I'd like it if Igalo came on and scored. Just because, like, every goal for Man United definitely means more to Odion Igalo than it does for
He's going to come on,
else.
he's going to score, and then he's going to do a no celebration out of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back after that game to talk about the Watford game and preview Burnley. Hold on, I'll just give you a sneak preview of our preview. Burnley will stick 11 men behind the ball and we'll really struggle to break them down and probably do it.
Very good. Yeah. So we're skipping next week's pod then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. No, probably not. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you at the weekend.
See you. Bye now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.